Many content creators didn't wait for the patch notes to actually have an opinion about the state of Neon in patch 9.11, but I did. And thank God I did, because now I can give you my full opinion about the patch notes, because they just dropped. So let's go in. Today's episode is sponsored by Elgato. Go to elgato.com for the newest hardware for streamers, use the link from the description below and the code for 5% off. Thank you Elgato for sponsoring the stream. I'm gonna be playing the Korean video. When it comes to patch notes, they're always funny and they cover everything anyway. This is gonna be the state of your ranked gameplay. Oh, my shots are off today. Did something change? Yes, reading patch notes is not something that ranked players do. Hopefully, then maybe they will watch my video. Alright, so what happened to Neon? Agent changes. Neon changes are crazy. First, hair slides are being decreased from 2 to 1. And the accuracy on the slides, and this is unfortunately not the best example over here with the slide, there's a slight change of inaccuracy when she slides. From full accuracy when sliding, so where your crosser is, that's where the bullet was going, right? Now you're gonna have a moving crouching accuracy. Unfortunately, they slid forward, and it's a terrible example because of that, instead of sliding like to the side. And it's not really well explained here, but the difference is big, and it's gonna be, unfortunately, a lot of luck involved now in the accuracy. And if someone will headshot you with a Phantom or a Vandal while sliding, he got lucky. So there's actually gonna be more legitimate reasons to complain about running and gunning with Neon, but probably should not see a lot of play, so whatever, right? But this doesn't affect much when it comes to shotguns. They get slightly bigger spread, but that's about it. Now, this change essentially kills Neon in my eyes. Her ultimate not only gets from 7 orbs to 8, but also her duration of the ultimate gets from 20 seconds to 10. So for context, Clove ultimate is also 10 seconds. So once the Clove pops her ultimate, you just run away for 10 seconds and she dies. Neon here always has to pop the ultimate before going into the fight, which means that she already is gonna have less on the timer, and she's not gonna be even on site. This is a smaller duration than even a singular smoke that you will have on any character. The shortest duration of the smoke is on Clove with 12.75. This is 10 seconds. Like, you are gonna run out of steam before the smokes from sight disappear. And you can still, of course, get the refill once you get the kill, but this is laughably bad now. Laughably bad. And the funniest thing about this is that Riot says, we want to increase counterplay for Overdrive, giving opponents a potential window to style Neon auto or disengage. The amount of average round impact with an ultimate also justifies an 8-point cost. Now, I find this sentence here being completely disingenuous. The reason why the ultimate had such a round impact is because Overdrive was able to be snowballed because of the duration. Now, by nerfing the duration, you should not be nerfing the points cost. If anything, this ultimate should be 6 orbs now, which would be probably too much. But it definitely should stay at 7. Like, I don't understand how on earth are they coming to this conclusion. Like, she is in a terrible state right now. Now let's compare her utility after the buff. So essentially, this is gonna be the state before the buff. Her wall duration was 6 seconds, but during the buff, it got 4 seconds. And the dissolve duration went from 1 second to 2 seconds. And the way they changed, like how it built up, it worked like a wave now, right? So essentially, the wall got nerfed, but it kind of works better with the team. But I still would consider this a nerf, right? And that doesn't change. It will still stay the same after the 9.11 patch. The high gear got changed and got giga buffed from 60 seconds to refill the fuel to 20 seconds. This stays in 9.11. And also because of the consoles, they changed the way that the sprint works, right? Because you are not able to have a full sprint without pressing W. Now we have full sprint with all the directions, and they made that just to accommodate the console players and to unify like the way that the Neon is being used on both console and PC, and not have different systems on both PC and consoles, which I find weird because you cannot play consoles against PCs anyway, so this should be different on both systems, but whatever, it got changed. So this stays. She's still gonna have a very fast sprint on sideways, and she's still gonna recover with the 20 seconds cooldown on the fuel. She went from 1 to 2 slides after like with the buff, right? So that gets nerfed, but she still has the instant equip on the slide now in 911, right? So that stays as well, and she will stay with 1 stun instead of 2, but it's significantly stronger. So with that in mind, with the changes in mind for both the buff and the nerf now, and what stays in the game, what doesn't stay in the game, my opinion is that she's essentially dead. Like, I don't see a point in playing her at a pro level because the commitment will be too much. You will have a Neon player who can slide once, stun once, and that's the commitment, and then she will have nothing. She would have to get 2 kills to get a secondary slide. So combining that with the 8 orb ultimate and the duration of the ult, which will probably get almost no value at all in the game now, or will just get 1 kill and then will dissipate, she is essentially overkilled. She was overbuffed into overkilled, but I would still consider her stronger than she was before the initial buff. The reason for that is, unfortunately, the fuel. Because now her strongest suit is essentially bunny hopping around and like checking corners with bunny hopping. And that will stay. Like, I really dislike the way that Riot treated the Neon. I worry that at some point the same treatment might be applied to Yoru. I hope not, because Yoru is low-key broken since 2 years. And we still got by the way, Yoru got reworked. He was really broken after the rework, but no one wanted to believe me. Then he got a buff on the duration of the flash, which I said it was not needed. And I really hope that they will not buff Yoru anymore, because it will end up with him being then nerfed to the ground, and I'll be very sad. This is literally the story of Neon right now. You still kind of have a better agent than it was before the buff, just on raw power. But the thing is, she was playable in her initial state, and many players enjoyed her playing in initial state. With the slide being on, with the sprint only working on the W instead of all the directions, but we're having 2 stuns, and with the longer wall, you could have worked with that. Now, I feel like she is completely dead. I will not be surprised to see like 4 times less players picking her in ranked. We're gonna check that after some time, but it's crazy, man. This is not the first time happening. When something gets a buff, it's too strong, and then it's get over nerfed. It's I don't know, man. It's not good. Neon players, I salute you, because I think you're gonna have very hard time adjusting to this and still enjoying playing her in ranked. This was my story with Viper as well, and I completely abandoned playing Viper in ranked. And now let's go to Vyse, because she gets a lot of buffs. So there are changes to Razor Wine. It will give more damage. It will have a nerf on the verticality, but it also gets a buff from the slow effect. So how it will look in the game, the DPS gets almost twice as much damage. Instead of 6 damage per tick, it's gonna be 10. Huge buff. But now you will also have the same effect on slowing down dashes and like slides, like with the stuns and the Sage Slow. I don't know why wasn't this updated in the previous patch, but it's now, so that's okay. So as you can see, it's not gonna be possible to like slide through unless the jet just updrafts over. And this is the nerf. The amount of units when it comes to verticality got changed from 450 to 300. So you're not gonna be able to do like a double boxes setup where it still goes down and affects the players underneath, which I think is okay, because this was very incredibly inconsistent in the way it worked, and it looked weird, and I think one of the main reasons why this got nerfed is actually because it looks weird and you cannot really understand where is it working and where not, because sometimes you get like an empty slot when it was like 2 levels and it doesn't affect you, but you don't know if it will affect you or not. So I think this is a good change and got buffed anyway. Flash, it also gets a buff, and it's the equip time. Pay attention to the right hand. How much faster does it equip? Like, you can shoot here, essentially, while still like equipping the gun on the left. You already can shoot on the right, so the difference is huge. But the thing is, this doesn't really change much for the defense, because on defense you already have the flash equipped somewhere on the map and you just pop it, and then you don't have any animation. This helps when you reposition the flash, so it might affect the playstyle of some players, but it's definitely something that I felt like Vyse kind of needed, because it was so hard to use the flash for yourself. So we're like flashing through the wall, and it took ages to have the gun equipped, and it's still gonna take ages to like pop the flash, so don't worry, it's gonna get destroyed anyway. But it's a buff that I like. Now, when it comes to the ping system, I already made a video about this. It was released yesterday. So if you want my full opinion about the changes of the ping system, that they don't go through smokes, and whenever you ping something on the mini-map, it doesn't appear in the game. If you want to know what I think about this change, it warranted a full video. Go check out that video, and I show you some ways of cheating, unfortunately, those changes. And this is a change when it comes to Radianite. Yeah, now you can upgrade with 1 click on many levels. Oh my god, guys! Only 4 years of clicking for Radianite upgrades. No! Alright. So what do I think about the changes overall? I like the Vyse changes. The ping system is like so-so. I don't like the fact that now it's gonna be uneven for many players, and many players can start cheating. And the other players who want to play fair will not have the same advantages like the other players who are not gonna be playing fair. And the neon is rip neon, guys. Like, I can't imagine her being still used in pro play, and I can't imagine even people like be trying in ranked. Like, maybe only the most die-hard players that spent thousands of hours with neon already and like her will still play her, but otherwise, unlucky, guys. I really hope that Riot will stop with this trend of overbuffing duelists and then nerfing them to the ground, but also just over nerfing every other agent in the game that is not a duelist, because apparently they're too weak. Like, sorry, they're too strong and they had to be nerfed. But it's all based on pro play. None of this is based on ranked play. No one cares if you're strong in ranked. Everyone cares in Riot if it's strong in pro play. And this is why Reyna got a buff. Like, I don't get it, man. Reyna is in every single lobby at Immortal level and Radiant level, in every lobby. It's like 10% of the pick rate. But how on earth is she not getting a nerf? How does she not get a remake? We need a remake of Reyna. We need a remake of Harbor. We need a remake of Deadlock. We need a remake of Chamber, I think, as well. Those agents don't need number buffs. They need remakes to make them more viable for pro play, to be more consistent and more supportive. And then that might mean that they will be differently used in ranked as well. But so far, Riot shows different direction with the nerfs and buffs, only based on pro play, and I don't like that very much. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video. Visit me on Twitch, twitch.tv, LotarHS. I'm streaming almost daily, and I hope to see you there. Thank you.